I once sat in a casting workshop where actor after actor walked in, trying to do the scene with bloodshot eyes already, obviously working themselves up before it even started. And honestly, it wasn't interesting. One of the worst ways to prep for an emotional scene is to just make yourself upset. It's like turning on one burner on your stove while you're trying to make a gourmet meal. What actually creates a powerful moment? For these high emotion moments, you should really be focusing on the scene work itself. All those other burners, breath, physicality, clarity of thought. These are all things that go into a full performance. If you're just trying to make yourself all worked up, you're just doing part of the equation. You're only eating a salad, you're not eating the rest of your meal. For me, personally, that's a lot of body imagination. Instead of trying to force myself to cry, I focus on relaxation in my body, make sure all my muscles are loosey-goosey and ready to go for anything that comes up, so I can just ride the wave. I start with my breath and noticing what's going in and what's going out. And then the real trick, which everyone calls listening, but what it really is allowing the other person to push your buttons. Allow your scene partner to really give it to you. And that's way harder than it sounds. But that's where the real meat and potatoes live. Are you liking this food analogy? It's making me hungry. So let's dive into what everyone seems to do just to get themselves all worked up in a scene. I do not believe in using your actual trauma as a crutch. I do not think it's good to just be emotional on cue, and I do not think that in actuality, if you are bringing harm to yourself, it belongs in your work. Mental health comes first always. We are people before we are actors. Okay, now that I got the PSA out of the way, that being said, if it's something mildly upsetting to you and you're able and willing to connect with it, it's part of the gig. We just call that personalization. As much as you personalize yourself with a character by noticing the good parts, the things that are similar between the two of you, you can also find the similarities in the negative parts and the sad parts of you. As actors, it's our job to live inside the conflict. It's really difficult, but it's necessary for the work. But being uncomfortable is different than being traumatized. So I want to invite you to think of other ways to access these emotions that are not necessarily thinking about traumatic things in your life that just make you upset and probably inconsolable. I'll share with you my go-to technique. Like I said, I really enjoy acting imagery, which is focusing on imagination and your body and how it connects. I like to use something more abstract, like dark clouds closing in on me, or my chest being full of rushing water that makes it heave. I do this as a way to activate my body in the scene work, to activate the emotions, and then I let it go and I just focus on the scene and what's happening in front of me. And because I did that prep work of allowing my body to go to these intense places, it will just happen in the scene work as well. I've now focused on my objective and let my partner affect me. So if you're like me and you want to work more with your physicality rather than actual trauma in your life, in your scene work, I want you to think of your breath as the gateway to your emotions. You can spot an actor blocking their emotions from a mile away just because they're holding their breath. Whether it's no breath or I am tightening my stomach to hold everything in, or what people don't talk about a lot, which is the opposite. I'm gasping for air because I was told once that I need to breathe in my scene work, so I have to keep breathing. It's just the same. It's not natural. So if neither of these work, holding your breath and just overdoing it with breath, what's the answer? Well, obviously the answer lies somewhere in between. We want to get a relaxed, natural breathing from our bodies and allow it to change with what's happening for us. I'm going to give you a powerful tool to use that I like to use a lot. It's called semi-supine work. It's very simple, very easy. You lie on the ground on your back, put a little something under your head just to keep it in line with your spine. You bring your knee up, basically like how you're going to do crunches or something, and you just lie there. Lie there for maybe 10, 20 minutes. Allow yourself just to keep relaxing. Your breath is going to automatically start to find a natural rhythm. You're going to feel very relaxed, and then this is the key. Now that you're in that relaxed state, start to get up very slowly so you keep it and get your way to your feet. And you can now feel in 10 to 20 minutes the relaxed state that you want to be in all the time in your scene work. This state is basically a way of flowing. It's your launch pad for all of your scene work. It's just the basics. Give it a try right now, honestly. It's very simple, 10 to 20 minutes. You'll feel yourself relax, and then you can learn that sensation to try and get there every time before you start working on a scene. Breath is life. Breath is present. So let's pull back from our actor selves now. We just talked a lot about being in the scene, in our bodies. What is the audience looking for? And I know you've heard this before. We want to see an actor trying not to cry. Yeah, it's true. I would agree with that. I mean, once again, this is an art form. There's no overarching rules, but yeah, I'd say use that as a rule of thumb. But let's dive deeper into what that really means. The brink of tears is truly just tension. If we always want tension and conflict, and that's what's interesting in scene work, then crying is a release of the tension. But if those tears are welling up and being held in your eyes, it's so much emotion, and it's actually a lot of tension because we're just waiting for those tears to fall. That's where the audience is seeing struggle, and we want to lean in and be like, is it gonna fall? Is it gonna fall? Or is he gonna cry? So what does that mean for us as actors? It means we need to take so much of the pressure off of us. I know you still want to cry. I know you're still trying to cry, but it's truly not as big of a deal on the outside audience as we put it on ourselves. They want to see tension and conflict. Put your focus on that. How do I create more tension with my scene partner? How can I really dive and sit in the conflict of what's happening? Chances are emotions will come for that moment, but that's what you're focusing on. You're supposed to take that in and say, how can I make this even more difficult? I want to put myself through hell in this scene. More stakes, more tension, more conflict, more emotion. Auditioning and on-set rituals. This is what you got to do when you have high-stake emotional scenes. And by this is what you got to do, I mean this is what I do, and you can do it if it resonates with you. You can also just make up your own thing. So let's talk on set first. I really recommend communicating with everyone if you have an emotional scene that day that you might need to be in your own world. A little tidbit from me is that I didn't communicate that once, and so many people were trying to talk to me while I'm trying to do very emotional things, and it made it very difficult. And then I also felt rude because I was like, well, I don't want to ignore you, but at the same time, I want to make sure that the work turns out good. So pre-communicate. It's as easy as just saying, hey, everyone, I just want to let you know I'm going to kind of be in my own world today, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later. That way I can protect my focus without also being rude. They know why you're not going to talk to them. Now for auditions, I like to do this around 20-30 minute warm up, and I think it's very helpful, especially for emotional scenes. The first part of it is warming up physically. I usually like to do that by doing some yoga. My entire body's moving, legs, arms, spine, just get it all in there and do some gentle stretching and just movement in general, and focus on how it feels while you do it. Then I like to do what I showed you guys before, which is the semi-supine work. So now that I got my body kind of physically going and active and loose, I really like to lie down and allow myself to relax, to get into that nice flow state. Once I'm in that nice relaxed state, I then slowly get up, so I stay in it, and I work on some imagination work. And I do that by doing really crazy theater things. You can imagine mice crawling up the wall, or rose tornadoes going around you. Just ridiculous. But what this does is take you out of the real world, because these things are so nuts, and allows you to connect your body to your mind. That way I'm responding to things and not forcing things on people. It's another way of kind of slowly getting yourself to be in a more listening state. Comment down below if you've tried the semi-supine work and what you think about it and what you feel about it, and if you do anything else for your acting practice to help get you into an emotional state for auditions. I'd be really curious. I think we could all help each other there. If you like this video, go check out my previous one about 6 ways that you can memorize lines as actors to do it fast and get going. It's got some real sciencey things in it because I talk about the 6 different ways that people memorize, because you might be an audio learner, you might be a visual learner, you might be a tactile learner. Go figure out which one you are. It will immensely help you in your auditions. So you can stop wasting time on memorizing and instead focus on scene work, the real stuff. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Mwah!